Hello everybody, and welcome back finally to another vlog. This is the first vlog I'm going to be making with the GoPro 7. I actually have been trying to make a few different vlogs, but I've been having a little bit of equipment issues and software issues trying to get used to the GoPro. Anyway, for this video, this first video that I'd like to do, as you can see, we're looking towards Namsan Tower, which is at the top of this hill right here. And we're facing south. On the map, it would look like this. We're kind of in this area right here, and what I'd like to do is just take a drive up and around the mountain. Namsan means mountain, although mountain is a relative term in this case. That's more like a hill. But anyway, we're going to take a drive around. There's a nice road that goes around Namsan, come back around over here, and then take the tunnel through, and then back up onto the hill. I almost said mountain, but you know, I'm from the west. Mountains have a different meaning where I'm from. Anyway, one of the reasons I'd like to do this video, or take this opportunity to do this vlog here, is that this is a central location in Seoul. And I'd like to eventually be able to do different neighborhoods around Seoul. And one of the reasons for doing that, I guess there are several reasons. One reason would be to catch Seoul as it is now, and this is actually it's April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2019, but to catch what Seoul looks like at this time, because it's undergone a lot of changes since I've been here, and I've been here for quite a while. I've been here for almost 20 years, and Seoul has changed quite a lot. So it'd be nice to kind of maybe document what it looks like now. And maybe people can take a look at these videos and see how much has changed. But also, maybe people who have been here a long time ago can take a look at these videos and say, wow, Seoul has really changed a lot. And this kind of the inspiration for that was that I was home last year, and I was showing some videos of me driving around Seoul to my family. And my mom's cousin's wife saw them, and she had been here in the 1960s. I think she was working for the government as a teacher at the time. I want to say Peace Corps, but I don't think that's right. I think she was working for the government on some kind of contract. Is that a... Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a green light for me. I don't think so, but oh well. Okay. Anyway, she saw those videos and she was like, wow, she was amazed at how much this city had changed since she had been here in the 60s. And you know, that's a long time. That's like 40 some years. So she was quite amazed by how much it has changed, and Seoul, or Korea in general, has changed quite a bit in the past 40, 50 years. I mean, it used to be a very undeveloped country. Of course, right after the Korean War, it was a war-torn country, very low on the economic scale. In just that period of time, from the 1950s to now, Korea has basically pulled itself up and is now the 11th largest world economy. And the pace of development has just been staggering. Some people call it a miracle. Of course, the physical evidence of that is all around. As you drive through the city, you see skyscrapers. It's like you're living in a first world country. Korea is definitely not a third world. It's not a second world country. It's definitely a first world country. I'm pulling over here just very quickly. Hope I'm not blocking anybody in. But I just want to point out, we're coming up to, this is Namsan Tower, of course. If you are a tourist in Seoul, and that's another reason I'm doing these videos, is just to kind of show you what Seoul is like, and maybe you can get some ideas of what to do if you're in Seoul. But you probably want to come here. This is the Namsan tram service. You probably take a taxi up here. I don't know if buses, I don't know the bus or the subway very well, because I've always driven on the motorcycles. This is the tram service. I've been here before when relatives visit in Korea. Take the tram up to the tower. Unless you're in for, you know, it's not that big of a hike, but if you have older family members who don't want to do that hike, this is where you should come. Okay, we're continuing our way up and around the mountain. And there are trails that you can hike all up and down this mountain. You could probably take a motorcycle up there or a car, but usually those trails are blocked off. So, you know, for example, this road right here, if I took a left, I think it's probably going to be blocked off. Excuse me for a second. Got my visor down. The way I've got the microphone attached to my helmet, it's a little hard to catch that tab. Yeah, see, that road is blocked off. I would not be able to drive up there on the bike. It's probably just for emergency or service vehicles. There we go. Yeah, the problem is it's a cold day today. It's April 1st, but it was below freezing when I left my house today. Still got my heavy winter gear on, and it hasn't been that way for the past few weeks. Been switching between jackets and clothes, as you do in the spring, as the weather makes up its mind if it's going to continue with winter or get into spring. But yeah, it's a beautiful day too. One of the few, you could see the Mount Pukensan through those buildings right on over there, which is nice. But this year especially, we've had a lot of what they call yellow dust or micro dust. And that's, you know, people have been complaining about it for years. This is the first year I've really noticed it myself. I haven't really paid attention to it. I didn't think it was that bad. But this year, yeah, it's been really bad. The last month, February and March, it's just been gloomy kind of, I don't want to say smog, I guess, hanging over the city. Not good to breathe. You see people wearing masks everywhere you go. It's like a surgery convention or something on the sidewalks everywhere in Seoul. I don't know if the masks are very effective or not. I don't know. I've been driving around in this stuff for like a couple decades, like I said, so I hope there's no long-term effects of it. But yeah, it's been pretty bad. And with the wind, it was extremely windy yesterday and chilly, very, very cold wind blowing through. It's blown most of that pollution out of here, which is nice. It's, you know, Seoul can be a very nice city, beautiful city when the wind has come through, and if it has rained, which it did also a little bit yesterday as well, washes the sky clean of all that smog and all that pollution. Of course, the problem is, the reason I started talking about that was because the visor, it's cold, so I have to be careful about it fogging up. This is a nice little road that comes around Namsan. Namsan Tower is right in front of us, as you can see. I like this road. I don't normally come up here. It's out of the way. There are 3 tunnels underneath this hill that are much more efficient, much quicker to get from one side of the city to the other. And I'm usually using one of those 3 tunnels to get around. But this road is pretty nice. It's great for motorcycle driving. Not a lot of traffic, even though it's, you know, it's Monday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. You'd think there is a lot of traffic down there, but up here, not so much, which is nice. And this is a nice park to come to, take your dog for a walk or just go for a walk yourself. Deal with the helmet fogging up again. Yeah, that little tab is right where the microphone is that I attached to the GoPro. I've got to be very careful of what I say too. Like I said, I've been trying to make a few vlogs, and I have voice activation on this camera turned on, so I have to be very careful of what I say so that it doesn't turn on or off. It doesn't, you know, the filming process. I'm being very careful about which words I choose, because I did try to make a vlog a couple of days ago, or about a week ago actually, when it was also nice weather, and for some reason the middle of the video that I was shooting was gone. It just didn't record, and I don't know if I'd said something to make it stop filming or what, but that was kind of disappointing when I got back home and found that all that footage was not filmed. So I hope this turns out okay. Again, I don't really have time to come back up here every time something goes wrong. But the other thing with the camera that I'm using, the brand of the camera that I'm using, is that it splits the video up into segments. So it has to keep it under 4 gigabytes is what I read online, and they do that because of the way the memory cards are built and everything. So apparently computers or memory cards can't handle files that are over 4 gigs very well. Like I just ran through the red light. I guess I'll do the same. So I don't know if that had a factor into it. It's a new memory card, so it shouldn't be corrupted like that. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. But hopefully this one will come out fine. That's the Hyatt Hotel over there. Famous landmark. Expensive hotel. It sits right on top of Itaewon, which is a very popular place for foreigners to go to for restaurants, shopping, things like that. And that's been there for ages. If you've been to Seoul a long time ago, you probably remember this hotel. We'll do Itaewon in another vlog some other day when I got more time. But we'll just go down this road, drop back down into traffic, and then take the tunnel back on through. And then, actually, I should have pointed out, behind us there is an intersection that dropped off to the right, and that drops off into Haebangchan. I hope I pronounced that right. That's where a lot of foreigners wind up too. It's, well, I don't know about these days, because that's also changing. That area used to be low on rents, and it's right close to Itaewon, which is kind of a foreigner district in Seoul. Seoul is pretty homogeneous. In other words, it's pretty much the same everywhere you go. But Itaewon is one of the few, it's actually the only district for a long time where you had any kind of cosmopolitan feel, you know, different restaurants, foreigners hanging out a lot over there. Of course, there's a big nightlife area. Figuring out what's going on here. It's a big nightlife area for a very long time. It still is. Now let's see, do I go up? Yeah, I go up. Yeah, I see what we're doing. Yeah, like I said, I don't go down this road very often, so I didn't know if I should take this bridge or take off down to the right. Oh, I need gas. So we're going to stop for gas right here. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, that was a little pricey on the gas. I shouldn't have stopped here. It's 1,949 won per liter, 11 liters, 22,000 won. Basically, I filled up my motorcycle for about 20 bucks, which is pretty crazy, especially if you're used to prices in the States. And that's pretty pricey for gas. I don't know, maybe it's the location. I don't normally come here. But usually gas stations are about 1,300 won per liter. Gotta cut all the way to the left, so waiting for a break in this traffic. There we go, maybe right up here. Yeah, this will be good. Oh, I don't have to go all the way to the left. This is what I'm more familiar with. I usually use this road. Okay. But yeah, gas, that station was very expensive. Usually gas has been around 1,400 won per liter. And I usually figure 1,000 won is $1. It's not really, it's more like 1,100 won is $1. So if you do crazy math, you can figure out the price of a gallon here. I'm not going to do that right now, but it's pretty expensive. And yeah, filling up a motorcycle with $20, I don't think you do that in the States. I used to fill up my Jeep back in the States for $20. That's a much bigger gas tank. But the price was about 1,600 won to the liter. It went up a few years ago, but recently, last year, it's dropped. It's around, it's a lot cheaper than it used to be for a long time. But that gas station, that's an anomaly. That's different. Anyway, it looks like they're doing a lot of construction here. I haven't been up here since they started doing this. Usually it's clear. And we're coming up here to the Shilla Hotel, which is a very expensive hotel. It's like a 5-star hotel. I was talking to somebody who said that their executives always want to stay at this hotel, even though it doesn't, from the outside, it doesn't really look that great. But I haven't been inside. Maybe it's a lot nicer on the inside. Maybe other facilities are good. It's centrally located, that's for sure. Right in the middle of old downtown, north side of Seoul. You can also get up to Namsan Tower this way. That'll be interesting. Actually, let's try that. I've never done this before. Namsan Tower. Oh, he's got to give a nut. Oh, I guess not. I heard this guy screaming, "Hello." No car, no motorcycle? Okay, sorry, didn't know. Thank you. I don't know if you caught that on the camera. This guy was screaming, "Stop! No!" But, you know, there's really no signs. I didn't see any signs for that. Yeah. Oh, well, like I said, I never tried that before. Now I know. So, yeah, I saw a bicycle going up ahead of me. So if you want to take a nice hike or you want to go biking, there's a lot of trails back in there. Of course, they're paved perfectly fine for cars, but I don't blame them for keeping motorized vehicles out of there. You don't really want to have that when you're enjoying a hike or a bike on the mountain. So we'll just take a left down here, and then we'll cut another left and go through the tunnel and come back out by Haebang Channel, drive through that area back up to where we were on the road going over the mountain. Okay. Like I said, normally I'm on this road, and it's convenient if you're coming up from Daehagno, just going over into Itaewon, or you're coming back from Itaewon. But like I said, what I normally do is take the tunnels. I don't know if that sound is picking up from my bike. I'm really not a big fan of all the plastic on the front of this bike. I think it rattles around too much. Okay, that's the left we're going to take. We can't take it here, so we got to go down and make a U-turn right here. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's a little cold though. I can definitely feel the chill in the air. And this is Dongguk University. That's another thing about Seoul. There are so many universities in this city. It's amazing that they find students for all the different universities. But the three big universities in Korea, Seoul National, Koreode, Korea University, and Yonsei University, are all here in Seoul. And then you've got all sorts of other little smaller or less ranked, I guess, how do you say that? Lesser ranked universities all about the city. But that is a reflection of the importance of education that Koreans place in their society. Without a college degree, it's very, very difficult to get a job. You're probably not going to get an office job or high-paying job. It's well nigh impossible to get through the interview process for the larger companies. And I'm glad I'm going this way, by the way, through the tunnel. We got all this traffic backed up going the other way. That's horrible. But like I said, there's so many different universities in Seoul, and I used to teach at them. That was a long time ago. Used to be a professor at a few different universities. For foreign teachers, though, many universities do not want to give you tenure. So after about 4 or 5 years, they say, okay, you've been a good teacher, and this happened to me, you know, your evaluations are very high. However, because of our policy, we can't renew your contract for the 6th year or the 5th year, whatever it might be. And so you have to quit and go get a job at another university. And I know some guys who have, they kind of like a revolving door. They go work at one university for 4 years, then they're kicked out. They go to another university for however long that term is, and then go back to their original university and for another 4 years. Apparently that's okay. But apparently a lot of universities have some kind of rule or law that if you work at the university for a certain amount of years, you are automatically granted tenure. And to avoid that, of course, they really don't want foreign professors having tenure. They want to cut that down as much as possible. So they'll just get rid of the foreign teachers easily. And that was discouraging, and that's, you know, I don't regret having taught at the universities. It was a good experience. On the other hand, I'm doing a lot better now as a freelancer and not working at the universities. Okay, we're gonna go right up here. Okay, we're coming into Itaewon actually, just going south out of the tunnel. The Namsan Tower is behind us. We're gonna turn right here. This is going through Haebangchon. And this area is changing a lot too. Like I said, a lot of foreigners would wind up here because of low rents. It's not really great housing either. Oh, and by the way, this is the Yongsan military base. This is what they call the kimchi pot gate, and you can see why. All the kimchi pots are lined up here, and that is a pedestrian gate back, not the green one, but the one, yeah, I think it is the green one actually. Or it might be a little bit further back, but it might be right here. But of course, this base is closing. This is the last year, or so I'm told, that it will be in operation. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with the land on the other side of this wall. On the other side of this wall is technically, I don't know if it's technically U.S. territory, but it's a U.S. military base. And it has been this way since, I believe, after the Korean War, for a very long time. So the base will be shut down. They're moving everything down to Pyeongtaek. I have a friend who's a contractor, used to be in the military. He gets me on base sometimes to go have lunch, and he says it's like a ghost town there because everybody has moved out. All the personnel, all the offices have moved down to Pyeongtaek, which is about an hour and a half to the south. And they're doing that, you know, for probably political reasons, because it's prime real estate right in the middle of Seoul. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of different foreign, I guess you'd call foreign restaurants along this road. We just passed a pizza place back there, a premium bakery, meat pie right there. This is an area you'll get some food that you don't normally get, and you'll see some different restaurants that you don't normally see in other neighborhoods in Seoul. Tarot cart, a fortune teller back there, interesting. But this area is also changing because it's becoming more upscale, and this is also what happened to Itaewon. Casablanca Sandwich House. That's new. Yeah, Jacoby's is still here. That's a good burger place. But I haven't been there for a long time. A friend of mine was not happy with the service or the hamburger that he got, so we quit going there. That's the same friend that I go on the base with. And yeah, there's a little mosque right here. Interesting, yeah. I'm just going to swing around and take a look at those restaurants again. See how many have changed. That's another thing. Restaurants come and go so quickly around here. Oh, we got the Terrace, the Tavern, the Bagel Cafe. That's interesting. Closed, of course. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. So I wanted a bagel for breakfast. Jacoby's, which is pretty good. I like the burgers. They're not bad. 25,000 won for a burger. That's about $22 for a burger. They have raised their prices since I've been there, but that's kind of crazy. But like I was saying, a lot of these houses and apartments in here are being changed over because the neighborhood is becoming more upscale. So a lot of people, I hear personal stories, I also read on the internet, people are complaining because their landlord is saying, oh, you have to move out at the end of the month because they're going to be using the space for a boutique shop or a